Welcome to the Soy Sauce. We're whipping up engaging discussions and insights on incredible books.
Pulling out the most powerful insights and practical takeaways so you can absorb incredible wisdom and spark new ideas all on your terms.
Let's sprinkle some soy sauce on your next book adventure.
Okay.
So today we're doing a deep dive into some really fascinating source material. We're tackling something we all face, right? Navigating change.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at excerpts from Mastering Change with Kaizen. The goal is to really get into why change often feels so difficult.
And importantly, how this Kaizen philosophy offers a different path, a maybe simpler one.
Exactly. Our mission is to pull out those key insights on how, taking really small, deliberate steps can actually lead to significant, lasting improvement without all the usual pain and struggle.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The source jumps right into something super relatable. Change is always happening, it's constant, but man, it's hard.
It really is. It forces us into new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things, pushes us right out of our comfort zones.
Absolutely. And think about like New Year's resolutions. That's the classic example the source uses.
Oh yeah, it quotes Robert Maurer, pointing out how often people fail. It mentions Americans sometimes repeat the same resolutions for a decade.
A decade. Wow.
And even the ones who finally make it, they often failed loads of times before. And, this isn't just about individuals. Organizations face the exact same kind of resistance when they try to make big shifts.
That resistance, it really does feel almost like hardwired into us. But this is where the source gets really interesting, introducing the Kaizen Way.
Right, as a specific method to deal with this difficulty.
So what is Kaizen exactly?
Well, at its core, Kaizen is all about using small steps for continuous improvement. It's about finding ways to get better using minimal effort, basically.
Minimal effort applied consistently, whether that's for habits or work processes or even designing a product.
Precisely.
Right.
Small, consistent improvements. And the source touches on some history, too, which is pretty neat.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, it apparently had some applications back in the Great Depression in the U.S., helping people cope. And then it was introduced in Japan after World War II.
Ah, by the occupation forces.
Ooh!
To help rebuild.
Yeah, helping rebuild the country, literally taking it one small step at a time. That step-by-step idea is just fundamental to it.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's practical. The source lays out some tactics, right? 6 of them.
Yes, 6 tactics for how individuals can actually use Kaizen. And they really highlight just how small these steps are meant to be.
Like, number 1 is asking small questions to sort of sidestep fear.
Exactly. Instead of a big, scary question that triggers your brain's alarm bells, you ask something tiny, manageable. It disarms the fear.
Okay, and then there's thinking small thoughts to build skills or habits.
Right, just a tiny, non-threatening thought about it, not some huge commitment. Then, taking small actions toward your goal.
Yeah.
Actions so small they feel almost trivial.
But they build momentum, presumably.
That's the idea. And number 4 is interesting, solving minor problems during a crisis.
Oh, right. So when everything feels out of control, tackling something small gives you a sense of progress.
Exactly. Maintains that feeling of agency.
Mm.
Then, number 5, celebrating small milestones. Giving yourself credit for the tiny wins.
Yeah, that seems crucial. Not waiting for the giant victory, but acknowledging the little steps along the way.
For sure. And the last one is staying mindful of crucial small moments, those tiny interactions or decisions that can actually stack up over time.
Huh. Recognizing the power in the small stuff. Okay. So what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean?
Well, the source really challenges this common idea we seem to have. This belief that change has to be painful, that it requires suffering or some huge uncomfortable leap.
Or that you need, like, a crisis to force big action.
Right.
Yeah.
Kaizen basically says, no, change doesn't need to be painful. The really fascinating bit is how it works with our brains.
You mentioned the fear response earlier.
Exactly. Big, sudden changes can trigger our brain's fear center, fight or flight. But tiny, tiny steps, they often just fly under the radar of that fear response.
So the resistance doesn't get activated in the same way. Change can happen more easily, almost sneakily.
Sort of, yeah. It guides you in removing obstacles by working with your brain structure, not against it. It reminds me of that John Wooden quote the source uses.
Oh, the one about improving a little each day.
Yeah. When you improve a little each day, eventually big things occur. It's not about willpower and brute force. It's smart, small, consistent effort.
Gentle, persistent progress rather than those big, scary leaps that can just freeze you up.
Precisely.
Okay, so that leaves a really important question for you, the listener, to think about. If those big, ambitious steps feel overwhelming right now, Where in your life, or maybe at work, could applying just one tiny, non-scary Kaizen step make a difference?
Yeah. What's the absolute smallest question you could ask, or the tiniest action you could possibly take, maybe even today?
Okay, that's all. Thank you for listening.
I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Leave a comment below.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit that like and subscribe now.
Can't wait to share more incredible book insights with you next time.